this one. Have Greeny read this one. So let's see. Here are some of RC's best tweets from the week, and we will see what they mean. He'll explain them. Let's start with this one. Ben's going to go into the building tomorrow and tell them he doesn't need to come into work during the week. RC, explain that tweet.
Hey, listen, I've been with Ben, and now I know Ben doesn't work on Wednesday. And so Ben was home all week. We were thinking, how good will he be? We were even talking about if the Bengals could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers because Ben didn't practice. Man, practice smacked. He out there like AI. Practice? We talking about practice? My man came in through for over 300, 4 touchdowns. Now, what he doesn't want to do, less than he wants to practice, is he doesn't want to teach pre-K. So I already know he walked into Mike T and said, look here, Mike T, I'm going to come to work, I'm going to chill in the training room, but I don't have to throw. You see what happens when I don't play? When I rest the elbow, when I rest the knees, when I wear the little joints that I was trying to promote in my post-game press conference, I straight up ball. So this week, I'm going to chill. Y'all go ahead on and handle it during the week. The Jaguars, y'all don't need me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I'm going to show up on Sunday.
I like it. That's our first tweet. Here comes the second from RC. Am I wrong for screaming, let him score Tua from my couch? Man, that ain't your fault, and that's not your tackle. Let him go. RC, explain that tweet because I love it.
Greeny, what the hell was Tua doing? Say, bro. Alabama puts out enough linebackers, enough running backs, enough linemen that if they got to go make tackles, you let them make tackles. What have we been talking about? Tua, don't get hurt. Tua, make sure you're healthy. Tua, you need to slide. He needs to leave all that competitiveness at his house. Ain't nobody going to be mad. If that boy scores a touchdown, you know what's going to happen? Brian Flores is going to go talk to the center who didn't snap the ball all the way up to Tua and say, you got to be better, son. 1, he wasn't the 5th pick of the draft. 2, he ain't the dang quarterback. 3, it was his fault. So if Tua talking about Loa chases down anybody else and tackles him, they should put him on the bench for a play so he can understand the right of his wrongs, because we cannot have Tua hurt playing defense.
Listen, that is by so far my favorite of your tweets of all time because I couldn't agree more. I have said for years, RC, this is my idea. There should be like a hot air balloon that hovers above an NFL field, and on every time there's a turnover, they should drop a little rope ladder down.
Oh my goodness.
Tua could just grab onto it and be whisked away like he's Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. The last thing in the world he should be doing is making a tackle. Okay, we'll come back to that, but it's a serious idea. Next. The way J.K. Scott bit on the hezzy by Keelan Cole on the 91-yard return has me weak. My man dang near did a backflip. RC, explain that tweet.
Listen, I am a firm believer in that specialists are not football players, even Pat McAfee, although he was extremely athletic. Keelan Cole got out of that thing for 91. He's on the sideline. J.K. Scott, you got a chance to be a hero. You got a chance to go out and do something spectacular. All he did was slow down, y'all. He didn't fake like he was going to cut in. He didn't come back out. He didn't hit him with the Rex dance moves. You know how Rex is. Hezzy. He didn't do none of that. All he did was slow down, and J.K. dang near tripped over himself. I actually wish he would have fell, because at least we could have got a good laugh like we got out of Peanut Butter Rivers when he was trying to tackle Chuck Clark. All we got was the touchdown. That ain't even fun. J.K., you got to do better, or you need to punt the ball in a way where they cannot return it.
RC's tweet said the man is a national treasure. I don't know what else to say. Okay, let's go on the clock, bring some of the guys back in here, and we will put 30 seconds on the clock. And Dominica, we'll start with you. All of my guys yesterday said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the best team in the NFC. I will ask you the same question. Who's number 1 in the NFC? 30 seconds, go.
I mean, even though they got smashed by the Saints a couple weeks ago, the Saints are without a quarterback. I would love to pick the Saints, but you can't pick Drew Hill without Cisco, and that's what Drew Brees is to that team. So he takes a step back, so the Saints have to also take a step back, and I think the Bucs have a defense, which very few teams have. The Saints started playing defense recently, and the Bucs have a dynamic offense that doesn't seem to be able to be stopped by anyone except for the Saints and maybe the Bears. So you got to go with, even though they're somewhat inconsistent, you have to go with the Buccaneers as the best team in the NFC because of the injury to Drew Brees, and we don't know how he'll return, and we don't know what Jameis Winston we are going to get. Some newer version post-eye surgery that doesn't throw it to the other team, or get same old Jameis that's big plays and big turnovers.
It's amazing what a week-to-week league it is. Graziano, Jerry Jones made some comments about attendance recently that I know caught your attention. 30 seconds. Let's hear it.
Yeah, Jerry Jones kind of bragging about how many fans they've been able to have at Cowboys games, talking about how proud he is that the Cowboys have about 1/3 of the overall attendance in the NFL this year, more than 30,000 fans at their most recent home game. Strikes me as a little bit tone deaf in the current climate. In Texas, they're having over 9,000 new cases of COVID-19 a day, one of the highest rates of any state in the country. There are people who can't have their families over for Thanksgiving dinner, and Jerry's talking about having 30,000 people in the stadium. Look, I was on a conference call yesterday with Dr. Alan Sills and other NFL officials. They say the attendance decisions are being made safely in consultation with local and state officials, which is great if that's true, but it doesn't seem like the right thing to be bragging about right now.
I think that's fair. All right, we'll leave the football there for the moment because we have the NBA draft tonight, and we've got the man who knows all with us ready to go. The Timberwolves have the #1 pick for the second time in team history. According to Caesars William Hill, Anthony Edwards is the favorite to go first at -130. Then, tonight has the potential to be a family affair with 7 prospects having a father or a brother with prior NBA experience. One of those, of course, is LaMelo Ball, whose brother Lonzo is in the league. And what will the Warriors do at #2? That's the big question. ESPN's latest mock projects them to take James Wiseman, who had 3 games of college experience this year. So there are a lot of questions here, and the man who has all of the answers is my man Mike Schmitz, who joins us, our draft analyst. And so let's start right at the top. Anthony Edwards, projected to be #1. What is he in the NBA?
Think Donovan Mitchell in terms of his impact at the next level, a guy who can go get a bucket at will. He's the most effortless scorer in this draft. And in terms of his physical tools, a little bit similar to James Harden, 6'5", 6'10" wingspan, strong 230-pound frame. And I think he's going to fit really nicely in Minnesota alongside D'Angelo Russell, who's a guy who needs the ball in his hands. He's cerebral. Karl Anthony Towns, more of a skill guy. This dude is a freight train to the rim. He's going to put pressure on the rim. He can get to his shot with step backs. So I think he can really play a Mitchell style of role. Somebody you give the ball late clock and say, go get us a bucket. And he has the tools to be a defender as well. So I like his upside.
All right, so there you see it. That's what we expect to be the first name that we hear. Then we get to #2. And again, Golden State in a unique position. James Wiseman is the player who is being projected there. But what do you expect to happen?
I would trade it, first of all. That would be my first pick. I don't think any of these top 3 guys can help the Warriors in this championship window. But I think you have to look at the long term here. You have to take a long-term approach. And LaMelo Ball is the best prospect in this draft. You can go get a center in free agency. They're like running backs. They're like running backs in the NFL. Go get yourself a quarterback, somebody who's 6'7", who can make every pass in pick and roll. And I do think long term he could fit alongside a Steph Curry, a Klay Thompson. I mean, getting up and down in transition with 2 of the greatest shooters of all time would be must-see TV. So you can go find a Wiseman for cheap. The Warriors have done that in the past.
Yeah, again, Wiseman is the big. LaMelo Ball, everybody knows who LaMelo Ball is, and the possibility remains that the Warriors trade the pick for something that can help them a little more in the short term. A lot of people talk about this as a draft that will truly begin at #4. Why is that, and who do you have your eye on?
Well, there's a tier at the top with Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and James Wiseman. So it's really the Chicago Bulls who are on the clock. And the name you hear most there is Patrick Williams. This is the biggest riser in this draft, as well as Denny Avdia, 6'10" out of Israel, Serbian, Israeli. He's extremely versatile, maybe the most versatile prospect in this draft. And he's coming to the NBA with over 100 games of pro experience. And then Patrick Williams, think OG Anunoby here, a guy with incredible physical tools. He can defend multiple positions. He's improving as a perimeter shooter. And his